presidential address to the nation. From CBS News headquarters in New York, here is Dan Rather.
Good evening. President Bush is about to address the nation from the flight deck of the Navy aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln.
Dan, this flight deck will be the backdrop for the president's speech tonight, in which he will announce an end to major combat operations in Iraq.
After President Bush made instant history aboard an aircraft carrier, Blue Box Toys began producing a presidential action figure as part of their Elite Force collection. KB Toy Stores found it to be a bestseller. After all, like any big Hollywood production, the Iraq War movie demanded merchandise. By all accounts, this was the first time a sitting president had been marketed as an action figure without a trace of irony. The TV war generated an onslaught of other merchandise too, like military monopoly, a series of Topps trading cards, playing cards based on those issued to troops, and other collectibles. For unknown reasons, military bears became a favorite, resulting in some strange combinations. The Hamilton collection released a military figurine in its line of Faithful Fuzzies. With M16, this bear struck a pose somewhere between Unconditional Love and Unstoppable Killing Machine. Another toy maker hit upon the idea of the popular Shock and Awe twin bear set. Notice their lovingly embroidered names. Recognizing the new absurd levels of war bear mania in 2003, one manufacturer released a satirical bear with a t-shirt that read, "Give us your oil or we will kill you." But war bears didn't hold a candle to the skyrocketing sales of action figures, especially during the Christmas and Easter seasons leading up to the Iraq invasion.
Overall, the toy industry is a $20 billion business, and sales of action figures have gone up about 5 times just as preparations for the war began. But children only form part of the market. 40 to 60% of sales of action figures come from teenagers and the older adult male consumer.
This time they were not your average toy soldiers. This new breed of action figure took its cues directly from the television war.
This is currently a figure that we've worked on that'll be available toward the fall of the year, all around our troops that are currently fighting in the Middle East.
One toy producer summarized this new trend. "We started working when the showdown buzzword hit the airwaves. There's fierce competition between manufacturers to get the new things out first." Beyond startup companies capitalizing on the war, old standards like G.I. Joe began producing realistic desert-themed sets of U.S. and Israeli soldiers.
G.I. Joe's having a very good year, but G.I. Joe is doing very well, primarily because it's been remarketed.
The Army eventually caught wind of the success of action figures and began to produce its own in 2006. The Real Heroes series took the war toy to another level. Not only were the toys based on the ongoing occupation of Iraq, they depicted actual soldiers who had served there. The association between toys and the TV war was perhaps most vividly captured in an Easter 2003 bestseller, Ever Sparkle's Military Forward Command Post, what amounted to a bombed-out dollhouse. The absurdity of this playset could not escape comment on The Daily Show.
And it's a good thing. I gotta tell you, I love, this is, I mean, come on. This is like the Malibu dream house reimagined after a carpet bombing somewhere in like Afghan Iraq or something. We happen to have the War Widow Barbie. Now, this is great because your daughter will experience a secret garden of grief. This beauty comes with little handkerchiefs and...
This new breed of war toy not only showed up on the consumer market, it showed up on TV. While anchors and guests played their own game of military monopoly on the floor, model planes ringed the set. Lester Holt stopped just short of flying a model plane around the studio. The feedback loop between the TV war and war toys closed completely in a bizarre 2005 incident. An Iraqi insurgent website posted a picture of an apparent captured U.S. soldier. The website identified the captive as John Adam. After some time, officials discovered that it was instead a close-up of an action figure named Cody, complete with a toy M16 held to his head.
But no American soldiers had been reported missing, and an American toy maker noticed that the soldier was a ringer for its special ops action figure, Cody.
When news coverage began to affect the action on the ground in the first Gulf War, the phenomenon was dubbed the CNN effect. Perhaps this was the beginning of the G.I. Joe effect.